Vic is in Mayfair, wants to talk to the Transport Commissioner. I wondered how long it would take before we got to cycles. I'm glad that we're finally there, Vic. The Commissioner's yours.
Good afternoon and good evening, both of you. And
Hello.
It's been a busy afternoon for me. Peter, I've just come back from the Canary Islands, and every cycle lane is segregated with a plastic movable, i.e. movable when you hit it, bollard.
Yep.
And it works very, very well. I don't know if you've seen it, but if ever you get a chance, just tap into the Canary Islands on the web and go bollard. And it does work very, very well, and I don't think it's that expensive.
Sorry, excuse me. So, Vic, that we are... I'm sorry. We are looking at doing things with plastic bollards, but actually what Boris has announced is a fully segregated lane with proper separation from the embankment, which is fast-moving traffic. And I've got to say, in the light of some of the real terrible deaths and serious injuries that we've seen on the streets of London in the past few months, he at least, and we have become more convinced that some element of total segregation is absolutely the right thing to do. But we will look at that. There are places where actually a bit of plastic and a bit of raised stuff in the road would make a difference. I think you'll find that most people's view is that that isn't the right thing to do on the embankment or indeed on the north-south route.
Well, that's another point. I mean, I drive a cab and I don't know if it's going to be the right thing to do on the embankment. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, we will. Let me get in on here because, you know, we've talked a lot about cycles and cyclists and, brand new superhighway. It's being lauded by you, Andrew Gilligan, the Mayor of London, and then you can't go past Buckingham Palace. How disappointed were you in that?
Well, I don't think that issue's over yet because actually it seems a bit cockeyed to me that you can managed to put a segregated cycle route up the embankment, which is one of the busiest roads in London. You can get it round Parliament Square, which is quite a challenge in traffic terms. You can get it into the park and get right up to Buckingham Palace, but somehow you can't get it round the front of the palace. And I don't think that's anything to do with the royal family themselves. I think this is an issue that the royal parks need to look at, and what they've said to us is we'll look at the consultation, which we've just put out, and I hope that they'll be able to do something, because it seems to me that if we can manage to do it in the Farringdon Road and in the embankment, then and up by Tower Hill, which has been very difficult and won't suit everybody, then actually putting a segregated route round the front of the other side of the Queen Victoria statue in the front of Buckingham Palace ought not to be that really difficult.
So, Peter, I wonder if you have any concerns. By my reckoning, 29 people have died on London's roads this year. It's an increase on last year. Have you concerns, or is it something that's come to your attention?
I'm devastated by every single death and serious injury on our roads. And the truth is, year by year, sometimes the numbers go up and sometimes they go down. If you look at it on a 5-year or 10-year basis, the number of killed and seriously injured people on our roads is going down, even though the level of traffic is going up. That's not a cause for celebration, because every one of those terrible things is a family and friends who are devastated, and that's why we care so much. We've talked about it before here, Eddie. A lot of the individual incidents, sadly, we've had 3 cyclists so far this year. As you know, I've told you before, Leon Daniels goes out to those sites when he can. Directly it happens to find out what's been going on. We've got some serious pedestrian deaths, and we work really hard. So we're not complacent about it. I do know what the statistics say. They do go up and down a bit, but if you look at the long-term trend, the long-term trend of killed and seriously injured people is going down, and that's how it should be.
OK, so this isn't a question, but a point. Empty buses on Oxford and Regent Street and poxy rickshaws touting outside Hamleys and every other major shop and club. Do something about it.
Well, I'd do 2 things. The buses in Oxford Street are not empty. 220,000 people a day get off buses in Oxford Street. That's more than the entire number of taxi journeys in Greater London every day. So I dispute the fact they're empty. They're empty when they get to Oxford Circus with Oxford Circus written on the front.
Do something about the rickshaws.
So the rickshaws, well, do you know what? We'd go and have a party if we could do something about it. I'm fed up with them, and so are the police. I have no powers to deal with it. I wish I did. The Mayor wishes he did. Do you know where we're going now? I've got somebody in our legal department writing a private member's bill so that when the mayor and some of the people who are in the Assembly get into Parliament, as they probably will. As they probably will, because I'm being careful. Any of them will. I spoke to one Kit Malthouse today, who's standing in the 6th or 7th most safest Conservative seat in the country, in the lift at City Hall, and I said, Kit, you've been on about pedicabs. I've asked somebody to write a private member's bill to deal with them, and the day you get into Parliament, don't worry, it'll be in the post, because you do something about it, because I can't. You know?
What are we going to do, Operation Safeway? I need to go out. I need to see what's going on. We also need to allay the fears of some of those cabbies. I think it's about time we looked at what you're doing with illegal minicabs as well. When are we going to do it?
So you want to go out with Shuan, who is my woman who does both of those things. And what I was going to say to you was, that's not instead of me coming every month. That's as well as.
Yeah.
So we'd like to get you out on Safeway. We're doing Safeway. The police are doing Safeway now in the mornings and the evenings, and they'll still be doing it even now at 7:15 in the evening, because we're very bothered about the numbers.
I'm a little busy now, but I can do the morning.
Yeah, well, or maybe we'll do one a bit later in the evening so that you can do it after the programme. I'll tell you why, Eddie, because actually I'm bothered by the number of people on our streets at night on bikes without lights. I'm terribly bothered about it. If you cycle down the embankment in a black Lycra cycling vest and pants on a bike with no lights, you're virtually invisible. It's not a good thing to do. And we're not out to nick people. We're out to persuade them that road safety is everybody's responsibility. So come out with us to do that, and then we'll go on and have a look at taxi touting and see who we could find.
Thank you very much. So Peter Hendy in with me, answering to you as he does once a month. Thanks for everybody who's contributed.